it's Cheryl Truesdale, and I am thrilled that you're here with me for this episode of Cheryl Shares TV, your station for inspiration. So, have you ever wished that you could just accept yourself just as you are so that you could feel better about yourself? If so, you are going to want to stay tuned, my friend, because you are about to discover a method that totally puts an end to all the emotional suffering that we feel because of self-rejection. And I'm so excited about this video today because what I'm going to share with you is going to help you cut yourself some slack and be able to see yourself for the amazing person that you truly are, warts and all. So hang on and get ready to discover a scientific method that cures self-rejection. Okay, before I give you the remedy for self-rejection, I want to empower you by pointing out 2 big fat lies that cause you to reject yourself in the first place. And once these lies are exposed, you will no longer fall prey to their trap of self-rejection. So here's the first lie that causes us to reject ourselves. See if this one doesn't sound a bit familiar to you. Lie number 1, accepting who and what I am means that I approve of everything about myself. What a big fat lie. Here, let me point out the sneaky deception of this statement. Accepting yourself and approving of everything about yourself are all lumped into one idea, when in reality, acceptance and approval are 2 different things entirely. Do you see the trap that this creates? To accept that something is true doesn't mean that you have to like it or agree with it. You don't have to like, enjoy, or condone things about yourself in order to accept what's true about yourself. Do you see the difference? If accepting all of who you are is contingent upon approving of all of your behaviors and faults and flaws or whatever that list of things is that you do that you don't approve of, if acceptance is contingent upon approval, well then of course you're going to reject those parts of yourself that you don't approve of. This is why it is so important to distinguish the difference between acceptance and approval, because acceptance and approval are different. And when you see this, that opens the door to you being able to accept the full reality of who you are while eliminating any need to reject the parts of yourself that you don't approve. Do you see now how accepting all of yourself does not require that you like it or agree with it? Now on to the second lie that causes us to reject ourselves. Lie number 2, accepting who and what I am means I can't change or improve. Here is the deception of this statement. Accepting yourself means that you'll never be able to change yourself. You're going to be stuck with your flaws and your weaknesses forever. Ew, who would want that? Do you see the trap here? Again, acceptance and the ability to improve yourself are 2 different things. To accept the truth about yourself doesn't mean that you can't make changes or improvements. If there are things about yourself that you just don't like, acknowledging those things in no way threatens your ability to change or improve them. Does this make sense? If acceptance is based on being stuck with who you are, well then of course you're going to reject the things about yourself that you want to change. Alrighty then, now that we've exposed those nasty little lies, they'll no longer be able to dupe us into rejecting ourselves. But what about the self-rejection that we have already incurred? What can we do about that? Well, actually, we can do a whole lot using a method borrowed from the scientific world. And the method is really quite simple. It's really all about the art of remaining objective. And just as any good scientist knows, properly analyzing anything means you've got to remain objective by looking at the facts without judging them. And this is how this would work in regard to self-rejection. Once you've been able to identify those parts of yourself that you don't like, or maybe even parts of yourself that you've disowned, your task then is to objectively observe the rejected parts without judging them as either good or bad. Simply look at them for what they are. I mean, what is, just is, right? Now I know it can be really tempting to make a judgment about the things you don't like about yourself as bad. But let me encourage you to refrain, and I promise you it'll be well worth it. By removing judgment, you remove the need to reject anything. I mean, you don't reject things that you like. You reject things that you determine as bad. So if it's not bad anymore, then there is nothing to be perceived of as shameful or to reject. Does this make sense? So get out of your head already. Stop analyzing, evaluating, and judging yourself. Just look at all the parts of yourself as what they are without judging them to be good or bad. And you know what? While you're at it, why don't you let your heart weigh in on the facts? You know, I think that offering yourself that kind of compassion may be the very thing you need to achieve the self-acceptance that leads to the happiness and wholeness that you desire. Well, there you have it. A scientific method that cures self-rejection. Yeah, I know, not a very sexy title, but let me tell you, the results you'll get using this method are life-changing. For me personally, using this method has allowed me to see myself and what I do in a whole new light. It's allowed me to get real with myself. And by getting real, then I can see what really needs to be changed and improved in my life. And then I went and made those changes and made those improvements that have transformed my life. Now, my hope and prayer is that you will never experience the pain of self-rejection. But if you do, go ahead and try this method. And then please let me know how it goes for you. And you can do that by leaving a comment under the video over at CherylTruesdale.com. So, do you feel inspired now? If so, would you like to inspire someone? Someone you know who could use a little love, hope, and inspiration to brighten their day? Got someone in mind? Then all you need to do to make a difference in their life right now is simply share this video with them. I am truly honored that you joined me for this episode of Cheryl Shares TV. Now, to make sure you get your regular dose of inspiration, just head on over to CherylTruesdale.com and sign up for email updates. That way you'll never miss an episode. And remember, you are amazing. You do matter. And you most certainly do deserve to live a happy life that you love. I'll see you soon, my friend. Bye.